Pope Leo will begin his first apostolic journey on Thanksgiving Day. He's going to travel to Turkey and Lebanon. Jonathan Morris, our resident theologian, joins me now. First of all, what is an apostolic journey?
Yeah, come to think of the word apostle.
Yes.
So Peter is the first of the apostles, in other words, the leader of the apostles. So he's going on a trip as an apostle, as a successor of St. Peter.
Oh, okay. And what's the significance of Turkey and Lebanon?
Yeah, so first of all, he's going to celebrate. This is fascinating. Most people are not going to pick this up from ordinary news, but Varney Company is not ordinary news.
We're privy to special
right?
stuff here. Go ahead.
So he's going to celebrate the 1700th anniversary of the Nicene Creed.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so the Nicene Creed is basically what Christians believe. But imagine 1,700 years of that codified belief. So that covers Orthodox, Catholics, even Anglicans.
Even Anglicans.
Right? Protestants, mainline Christian.
We read the Nicene Creed on every Episcopal
absolutely,
service.
We all do. And so what he's going and saying, let's celebrate what we have in common. Pretty profound.
And that was the area where the apostles were actually working.
And then he's going from there, he's going to Lebanon, and he's really planting a flag in the ground saying, I'm going to say Christianity should be respected with reciprocal rights. In other words, if we allow you to worship in your way, you should allow us to worship in our way. And the Middle East is talk about melting pot, as we talked in the last segment. Like this is where things happen. It's the crucible.
Yes.
Of so much religious belief, but also of infighting. And reciprocity of rights is a crucial principle of Christian moral ethics.
So the Pope is going to Lebanon to support the Christians there who've been largely pushed out of all sections.
Yeah, and it's the largest Christian footprint in the Middle East.
That's a political position to take, isn't it?
It is. It's a conservative one, which means conserving eternal principles and respecting each other equally. Is a very important principle that he wants to really highlight.
You like this Pope, don't you?
I do. Doesn't mean I agree with him on everything he says, but I don't want to have to agree with him on everything. I just hope he agrees with the gospel and with Jesus, and I think he's pursuing that.
That would help. Jonathan, a federal judge has ordered 14 Texas school districts to remove displays of the Ten Commandments from classrooms. This brings up the whole idea of separation of church and state. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I'm going to make a lot of people angry with what I'm saying. I have a child who's in public school in New York City. Do I want them to put the Ten Commandments up on the wall of my child's classroom? Absolutely not. And the reason why I say no is because then someone's going to say, you also have to put this up, and this up, and this up. In other words, I want our schools, our public schools, to be teaching our children to read, to write, and to think. And I will give them the Christian values that I believe in. And maybe 50 years ago in Texas, or even 10 years ago in Texas, having the Ten Commandments would have been a very good thing because public money is going to public schools that represent public values. But we're living in a world that has changed tremendously. And I think the big problem is public education in the first place. It costs, for example, in New York City, $30,000 for the government, the city government, to educate one of our kids. Catholic schools, it costs $9,000. Charter schools, a little bit more than that. So the big problem is, why is our public money going to bad education?
Do you want any religious symbolism at all? A cross, for example.
Listen, I think it's history, right? So like teaching the Ten Commandments is part of history, yes. But it's a very dicey thing. I do not want schools to be presenting this is what Christians believe, because they're probably going to get it wrong, as they would get this is what Jewish people believe. They'll probably get it wrong. Here's a big danger right now. I know in New York City, the public schools are trying to erase the teaching of the Holocaust. Let's not talk about it anymore. Or the Holocaust is really not even, I mean, it depends what you mean by a Holocaust. There could be a Holocaust, emotional Holocaust, and really erasing history. That's what we have to watch out for, the facts being erased.
You should come back on this program more often, Jonathan, because you make a lot of sense. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jonathan.